Okay, so the assignment is that you guys are going to build a 16-inch tall vessel, correct? All right, you're gonna need to have both hidden and exposed coil, and you're gonna have sgraffito carving on the outside telling a story. But the first thing you have to do is increase the proportions of your drawing so you know how to build your vessel. This is really simple. So I'm gonna take my ruler, and again, it doesn't need to be down to, you know, the centimeter or anything, like just estimate things. Right now, my picture says that I'm 7 inches in height on the drawing. Approximate, I'm rounding it. So my phone is being in use right now to film. Can one of you guys pull up your calculator for me? All right, so in order to find out what number to multiply everything by, I know that I need to build something that's 16 inches in height. My drawing height is 7 inches, so I need you to tell me what 16 divided by 7 is. 2.28. All right, so I'm gonna write that magic number in the corner of the piece of paper. Okay. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that. There. All right. Now, every single measurement that I do of this vessel, I need to multiply by 2.28 to get the proportions for my vessel that I'm building. So, what am I going to want to measure? Things like, how wide is the base? All right, because that's going to be how wide am I going to cut that circle. So right now, it has a diameter of 2 inches. So 2 times 2.28, please do for me. I would think that's 4.56. All right, so again, round 4.5. 4.5 inches approximately. I could do 4.5 to 5 would be fine. So I know that when I first start out, and I'm gonna do a demonstration on how to cut a slab, how to start that off. I know that my diameter of that circle needs to be approximately 4.5 inches. Now my image goes to a narrowness pretty quick. So it kind of goes out of a base and it comes in. So that narrowness, what is the diameter of that? Now again, I'm gonna round things, but if you could multiply for me, I would appreciate it. Right now it's measuring 1.25. So 1.25 times 2.28 is what, I'm sorry? 2.8. So I could even round that to 3. Okay. So it goes from 4.5 to 3. Now, how quickly, what is the height it is when it goes from 4.5 to 3? How tall is it from one point to another? So I'm gonna wanna mark that in. So from here to here, it's about 3/4 of an inch, so that's 0.75 times 2.28. Okay, so I could say 1 3/4 of an inch. So 1.75 inches to 2, that's fine. Just rounding it. So that's how quickly, in about 1 3/4 to 2 inches, that's not a lot, it's gonna go from 4.5 to 3. All right. Other things that I want to measure are what is the widest point of the vessel? So one of the things that's the easier way to do that is by putting a straight edge up against the side of the vessel. And basically it's going to tell me where is it hitting. Well, it's hitting about right there. So that's my widest point. So I'm going to draw a line across the widest point of the vessel. All right, so 3.25, can you do math for me? 3.25 times 2.28. $2.5. 7.41. So let's say I'm going to say about 7.5. I'm rounding up a little bit. I would say 7.5 inches. Again, that's what it's going to be when I'm building. So 7.5 inches is going to be the widest point my vessel will ever get. It should never then be like, as I'm building and I'm looking at it, it shouldn't be 11 inches in width. It will be hard to control as you're moving the clay out. So you're gonna have to have these measurements so you're able to be like, okay, is it moving out too quick? Is it not moving out enough? Why does it look so straight? If your cylinder, if it looks like this, not moving out, that's a problem. All right, so another thing I'm gonna wanna measure is how narrow does the neck get? So could you multiply 1.25 times 2.28? 2.85. So I'm going to round it to 3 inches so that my narrowest point goes back to 3 inches. When I do all of these measurements, I'm going to do this as though I am eliminating the handles. The handles will be put on separately. So I'm really looking at this shape as just a vase, no handles. Okay, another one. So there's going to be lots of measurements. I'm going to want to measure how wide does the top of my vessel become. So mathematics, please. 2.25 times 2.28. 5.13, I'm going to do 5 inches. Okay, so that's how wide the mouth is. Okay, but again, I'm going to want to do multiple other measurements. For an example, I know that the widest point of my vessel should be 7.5 inches in width, but how high up should I be when my vessel is 7.5 inches? All right, so I'm going to do a measurement from my widest point to the base. And again, you can round. 4 times 2.28. Okay, so I'm going to say 9 inches. At about 9 inches height, I should be 7.5 wide. I like to do multiple measure checks. So I will do usually a measurement of width from about here as well. I'll do a measurement of width from here as well. And I'll do a measurement of height from that as well. So that's going to give me multiple checkpoints that, let's say I'm 4.5 inches up, whatever. I should be this wide. So I am not building out too quickly, or I am building out enough as I'm moving up. So these are things you need to do first, is get as many points plotted. Now notice again that I don't need to write what the actual measurement of my vessel is, right? All I am is writing the measurement of what I should be building it to. So don't write a whole bunch of numbers on the piece of paper that you're going to be confused by. Write only the numbers that you're going to need for building.